Welcome to Living in Lansing, Michigan, your resource for all the information you need to know about moving or living in the greater Lansing area. Why would anyone choose to live in Lansing over Detroit? It's an iconic city with its own culture and a huge job market, major city, lots of stuff around. So why would anyone choose Lansing instead? In this video, we're going to talk about Detroit versus Lansing, and you can figure out for yourself which one might be the right fit for you. I am Brooks Warner with Mint Home Team at Keller Realty, local real estate agent here in the greater Lansing area. Please take a minute to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click on the bell so you get notifications of the future videos that we're putting out. We are here to be a resource for anyone who is thinking about moving to the greater Lansing area. Okay, number one on my list for why someone may choose the greater Lansing area over Detroit is going to be cost of living. We're going to start with median home sales price. So here in the greater Lansing area, we're hanging right around $230,000 for a median home sales price. Compared to Detroit, they're upwards near $350,000. So homes are far more affordable here in Lansing than they are in Detroit. And in addition to that, groceries, utilities, and other things like that also tend to be a little bit lower here in the greater Lansing area. So number one reason why you might want to be in Lansing instead of Detroit is cheaper cost of living. Okay. Number two on the list is job opportunities. Now, Detroit has a booming job market, so I'm not taking anything away from that. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what Lansing has for job opportunities, which are still very vast. So the one thing that I think is kind of overlooked is the government jobs. The capital is here in Lansing. We have a ton of state workers and things like that. So government-based jobs in the greater Lansing area is a huge point of employment here. Also, healthcare system. We have two major hospitals in the area, so lots of healthcare work here. We do still have General Motors, so much like Detroit, Lansing has been built around General Motors. So we have lots of those types of jobs available as well, along with education. So we have, obviously everyone has local school systems and things like that, but we also have Lansing Community College, Cooley Law School, and Michigan State University. So tons of job opportunities here in the greater Lansing area as well, just like Detroit. So next on the list, let's talk about lifestyle and culture. Lansing probably can't compete if you really want a big city. They have tons of stuff going on down there. Major professional sports are based there in Detroit. Obviously iconic music, lots of culture and fun things to do in Detroit. However, Lansing, if you want a little bit of that with the smaller town, not as busy feel, we still have some quiet communities that have great festivals. We do have lug nuts, so we have some sports available here, but really just more of the quiet, small community festival feel. So that one I'll leave up to you. Do you prefer the big city, sporting arenas and things like that Detroit has to offer, or are you a little bit more slow paced, just want to enjoy things? Then Lansing might be the choice for you. So next on our list as to why someone may pick Lansing over Detroit is going to be safety and security. So Detroit is still in the top 100 most dangerous cities in the United States, where Lansing is not top 100. A couple of other comparisons there. In Detroit, you statistically have a 1 in 45 chance to be involved in a violent crime. You have 1 in 62 chance of being involved in a property-related crime, and 1 in 65 chance of dealing with a motor vehicle theft. Now, if we switch over to Lansing, 1 in 77 chance for being part of a violent crime, so almost half as likely, which is definitely good. Property crime would be 1 in 37, so a little bit lower than Detroit, not as big of a gap as the violent crime one. And then the big one that I was surprised for research is you have a 1 in 65 chance of motor vehicle theft in Detroit. Like I said, in Lansing, that's 1 in 172. So almost 3 times more likely to deal with auto theft in Detroit than you are in the greater Lansing area. So another reason why you may consider choosing Lansing. We are safer than Detroit. Number 5 on my list is going to be transportation. Now, while Detroit is the largest city, they have more public transportation than Lansing does, like Smart Bus and things like that. However, not quite enough to where people can really get away with not having a car. Having a car to be able to commute is still pretty necessary in Detroit, unlike some other major cities throughout the country. Now, if we go to Lansing, we have a little bit less public transportation. We do still have CATA to help with that. But if you're going to need a car anyways, the average commute in Detroit, one way for people for work in a day and things like that, is 26.4 miles, which is actually exactly what the national average is, 26.4 miles. However, here in Lansing, the average one-day commute for people is more like 19.3 miles. So we have less commute distance. Also, we have a whole lot less congestion for our highways and things like that. Detroit, much larger city than Lansing is, so a lot more backups, a lot more delays on the highway system, to where here in the greater Lansing area, we're typically pretty smooth sailing. So number 5 on my list is better, easier, quicker, less congested transportation in the greater Lansing area. Okay, in conclusion, what does Detroit have to offer versus Lansing and the other way around? Well, Detroit is Michigan's largest city. It has a historic culture, tons of opportunity, and a whole lot of excitement. So maybe that's the right fit for you. On the flip side, we have Lansing with much better affordability, a really strong job market across a vast number of industries, really just more of a laid back, relaxed, balanced life feel. So which one fits or sounds better to you? Go ahead and leave your answer in the comments. I would love to read them. Again, I am Brooks Warner, and I am here to answer any questions you might have about living in the greater Lansing area. I take phone calls and messages from people all the time, every day, that are thinking about moving from across the country into Michigan and specifically the greater Lansing area, or from around Michigan, moving to the greater Lansing area, and even local residents who are thinking about buying for the first time or doing an upgrade. So if any of that sounds like you, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. This is Living in Lansing, Michigan. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications so you can catch all the information that we are sharing with you. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.